Chores. This sounds like such an ominous word. I like allow participation much more. Welcome to Epic Mom Life. I am your host, Kara Peterson. This show is sponsored by The Possum's Tale, a unique book adventure for your 6 to 12-year-old child. Let's jump into today's show. Are you looking for age-appropriate chores for your middle school age kiddo? Well, which chores should you give, and is there an easier way to get them to do it? Chores. This sounds like such an ominous word. I like allow participation much more. A household needs energy and work put into it in order for it to flow and operate well. I believe that everyone who lives in the house is responsible for contributing to that flow. If someone does not contribute, the flow is interrupted, the overall energy of that home dwindles, and in the end, stuff just doesn't get done. A lot goes into the functioning of a household. Bills need to get paid, dishes need to be done, meals need to be made, rooms need to be cleaned, pets, plants, yards, etc. need to be cared for. Everyone should have the honor and be expected to participate in creating a wonderfully operating household and home. That brings us to the dreaded word, chores. So how do I assign chores to my middle school age child? Create a chore chart. Do you feel like you are constantly repeating yourself? Do your children say you nag? This is not the job you signed up for. A chore chart operates under the premise that everyone understands the jobs that need to get done and how to do them. So a chore chart does not work well if you just write stuff down and expect or assume that your kiddos will know how to do it the way you want it done. So a chore chart is assuming that you've gone over all of these things, that you've all talked about it, and they know the expectations so that that job is done and done well. The beauty of a chore chart is that the children learn how to manage themselves. This has so many great benefits about learning time management, learning prioritization, learning about how to do self-discipline, all kinds of things. A chore chart can be done on a whiteboard, paper, or digitally. If your child loves technology, read the 12 strategies for how busy moms use Alexa. There's a link in the notes. And Alexa will talk to your child. Alexa will remind them that they need to do their chores. And you can periodically check in with Alexa, and you can check in on the whole family. Like if your husband has a honey-do list, which is also one of those strategies, all kinds of stuff, because you can see then what is or is not completed. Create team tasks. Have you ever cooked dinner all by yourself? A huge gasp is going out throughout all of the crowd, right? I know almost all of you cook dinner by yourself. But let's just play pretend. Imagine a dinner world where we sit down as a family and we plan the menu for the week. Then we divide all the chores that go into the entire production of dinner out amongst all of us. Groceries need to be purchased. If you are a really savvy family, before the meals are decided upon, someone is looking at the sales for that week and figuring out which major items will be a friendlier hit to your wallet. This is one of the steps I talk about in How to Raise Independent Children. The prepping for the meal needs to be done, thawing the meat, chopping the veggies, slicing. You can even have the person who's doing prep pre-measure everything and put them into little dishes so that it's almost as if you're part of one of those meal subscription services. I mean, how cool is that? Then someone else can do the prep work of the kitchen. Prep work of the kitchen, you say? Yes. Set the table. Clean up the kitchen so the person cooking has a sanitary environment to cook in. I can't cook if there's ickies on my counter or there's dishes in my sink. So I have to start with all of that gone before I can even start. So you can have a setup person for the kitchen. Then the cook just cooks. Then the cleanup crew comes in and takes care of the leftover food, the dishes, and the counters. When you take a chore that has to be done, but you create a team effort around it, it becomes more digestible and a way to rely upon and bond with other members of the family. I would definitely switch up who gets to do what in all of those scenarios from month to month, because one, it's good for everybody to learn how to do different jobs, but two, people can get kind of resentful if they always get stuck, say, cleaning the bathtub. Number 3, this is on how you assign those chores. Give choices. You know what needs to be done in the house. Can you, however, make a list of everything that needs to happen in the home for it to function well? A quick example. Daily, because we're going to separate into daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. Daily, all of the garbages need to be taken out to the big bin. Make the bed, feed the pet, clean the counters, other kitchen duties. I'm just putting those all into one thing. Weekly, the garbage gets taken out to like the road. Mom's car gets emptied of trash and toys. That's a good one to put in once a month or once a week. Plants get watered. The bathrooms get cleaned. And the laundry gets done. Monthly, clean out the refrigerator and all the old icky food. Clean all the door handles and remotes. Clean the oven and dust the fans. So that's just kind of one list. You may have a lot of other things. I was just kind of ballparking it. Once you have written down everything, I mean everything, again, you can't assume other people can read your mind, that needs to be done in the home, have the family sit down and look over the list. Talk about what each task entails. One of the biggest missteps is when a person assumes that someone else knows how to do something the way you want it done. Clean counters in our home looked very different to me than they looked to my 9-year-old son. I had to coach him on why I cupped my hand, at the edge of the counter, and then I scooped the food in. He didn't understand that. I also have a disinfectant spray because in my mind, I can see little salmonella and what's the other one? I can't remember right now. These germs marching across my countertops. So I have to have a disinfectant spray after I've cooked everything. And that is when the counters are cleaned at the end of the evening. After explaining all the jobs, talk about the expectations, like I just said for the counters. Then, how many daily, weekly, and monthly jobs can your children do to be participating members of the family, but still be fully active in their own lives? They're not live-in maids, right? Neither are you. So how many can everyone be expected to do and still get the household going, have it perform well, have it look good, all of these things, and everyone doesn't feel like they are set upon with all of this onerous, odious tasks? Should they be entirely responsible for their own spaces and their own belongings? This would be part of their daily and weekly chores. Are you interested in a list of 52 10-minute tidying tasks and 60 10-minute decluttering tips? By getting these, you can kind of see what different tasks and ideas I have come up with, room by room, that kind of thing. And most of them take 10 minutes. So you can kind of be putting in your head, well, I think that they can put in about a half hour a day or 20 minutes a day to doing tidying stuff. And this is how much time it should take and that kind of thing. That way you can divvy them up according to how long it takes. This is free and it's in the description notes. What are age-appropriate chores for middle school kids? So first, I want to establish that what I think and what I consider for middle school age kids is about 11 to 14. Also, appropriate age and circumstances, this differs for a lot of people. I had a girlfriend who at age 9, her mom worked and her dad was gone, and so she was basically raising her brother. Her mom didn't get home until sometimes around 7 o'clock. So she got her brother off the bus and she did the laundry and she cooked all the meals and she had everything put up at the end of the evening. I do not think that's appropriate for a 9-year-old, but that was what had to happen in their household for their household to work. By the age of 16, she'd already considered herself having raised a family and didn't want to raise one, and I don't blame her. But I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Age appropriate and circumstance appropriate are two completely different things. What do I think middle school kiddos should be capable of doing? These are all the chores I think that they should be able to do, not that they should do all of them. That's another important thing to differentiate. Fold and put away laundry. By 14, they should also have learned how to use the washer and dryer, and they should be doing their own laundry. Most kitchen duties. An 11-year-old may be too young for raw meat and a food processor, but they can be assisting. Keep their own bedrooms clean. Vacuum, dust, wash sheets, make bed. Sweep and mop, and empty the dustpan and the mop bucket appropriately. Vacuum and dust, and learn how to dust blinds and vents and use the vacuum attachments for furniture and drawers. You have to do all of those drawers in the kitchen where all your food crumbs and ickies get in. They can absolutely learn how to do all that. Clean the bathroom. Toilets, tubs, counters, floors, mirrors, etc. Okay, I have a huge hint for you. Everybody is different. Remember that disinfectant spray I was talking about? I have a special spray that I really like that isn't chemically laden, but it's still really good at killing all your nasty bugs. And it's really good in the bathroom too. But then I can't have, I'm telling you, I have a weird thing about germs. I can't have the same washcloth that is used for the toilet then used on the sink. That would really send me into ick zone. Well, neither of my boys were really good about really spraying and really wiping down, and the bathroom is an area that I really need wiped down. So I looked at the situation. I did not yell at them. I did not nag at them. I just learned. I learned what they were doing and how well it was getting done. And I caved and I bought disinfectant wipes with bleach. Not great for the environment. And I'm kind of a tree hugger. I like the environment and I try to do a lot to save things. This is an area where I went, okay, so I can do something really good for the environment, or I can make sure my bathrooms are really clean. I chose the really clean bathrooms and I just bought those wipes. And you know what? My boys did a fabulous job of cleaning. So look at the situation and figure out how your children can best do what you're asking them to do. Because it might not be spray and wipe. It may be using disinfectant wipes, as awful as that may be for me. So that's my hint. They can also be responsible for household garbages and taking them to the corner weekly, the mail, and the newspaper. So if you recycle your mail or newspaper or shred it or something, they could probably learn how to do all that. Total pet responsibility. If your kiddos want pets, they can learn how to take care of the pets. Feeding, watering, exercising, and cleaning up after them. And then things like raking leaves, shoveling snow, washing cars, all those kinds of things. Chores can teach valuable lessons like time management, responsibility, work ethic, and good habits. Sometimes parents and children enter into a nagging and sullen or withdrawn relationship over chores. I'm hoping that I'm giving you some great ideas on how to assign the chores and ideas on age-appropriate chores for those middle school kids. As an FYI, when I was a teacher, this is the age group I got my master's degree in. I love your middle schoolers. So if you have any questions, please send them to me, because of all the age groups out there, it's your 11 to 14-year-olds that I totally dig on and think are groovy. My movie quote this week: "It is not in doing what you like, but in liking what you do that is the secret to happiness." Mr. Peter Pan. If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to send you a huge thank you. Please leave me a comment or review and share with other moms you know. Get in touch in the comments or on Kara's social media networks. See you next week for a new episode.